In India, of course, Lord Krishna is synonymous with the Hindu tradition, and the youngest child grows up with stories of Gopal's mischievous nature, and so much of Indian tradition and culture is tied to the life of Bhagavan Krishna. And certainly the greatest of the scriptures of India and quite probably the world is the Bhagavad Gita. The words of Krishna, the powerful inspiration of not only his words but presence. If you think about how people are remembered, why people are remembered, why would we remember someone who lived so many thousands of years ago? And not only do we remember his life, but we feel his presence. And this presence is the power of the avatar. This is the difference, one of the differences between an avatar and a free soul, a soul that becomes free while still in this world. The avatar comes with special power. And one of the ways that this can manifest is in the power that continues to flow for time immemorial. There is no limit to it. It's eternal. And you might not realize that the Bhagavad Gita is not just an Indian scripture, but it's an international, it's a world, I suppose you could say it's a universal scripture. We don't have any knowledge about it having arrived on other planets and other beings receiving it, but I'm sure they would receive it well if they were in tune with such things. But in America, well, I can speak for myself. In America, it's interesting for myself when I came onto the spiritual path. I actually read the Bhagavad Gita before I read the autobiography of a yogi. And one day I sat on a bluff overlooking the ocean, and I was just there in nature. Somebody had given me this little book. It was called the Song Celestial. It was the edition, the poetic edition, translated by Sir Edwin Arnold. And it's incredibly beautifully written. And I sat down and literally read it from cover to cover in one sitting, pausing every once in a while to allow it to seep into my consciousness. And having never read anything like it before, I realized in that moment that Krishna communicated how to live so incredibly well, so practically. You really can't say it any better. You can say it different, but it's clear. It's clear what we need to do. It's clear how to proceed if we want to experience our highest potential inwardly. And as a practical matter, that highest potential into everyday life as well. There are many times in life when we question, what am I doing? How am I doing? And if we want to evaluate ourselves, we have to evaluate ourselves in the light of the spiritual light, because that is the only real valuation. I suppose some people would say, well, if you believe in karma, then if I do enough good karma, then in future incarnations, good things will come to me. So you could take life from that point of view. Say, well, let me do good things so that I'm rich in a future lifetime. But that's a very small view, because it doesn't matter how rich you become in this world, you will experience suffering. You will lose that wealth. And your loved ones will come, but your loved ones will also go. And you never know when. And this world is designed for suffering as a motivational force for us to seek spirit. And if we leave that behind, we've left everything behind. There is a quote that I'd like to read. Let's leave that off, please. It's not working properly. The very end of the 18th chapter, Krishna says to Arjuna, "Nay, but once more, take my last word, my utmost meaning have. Precious thou art to me, right well beloved. Listen, I tell thee for thy comfort this. Give me thy heart, adore me, serve me, cling in faith and love and reverence to me. So shalt thou come to me, I promise true, for thou art sweet to me. And let go those rites and writ duties. Fly to me alone. Make me thy single refuge. I will free thy soul from all its sins. Be of good cheer." This is one of the great promises of God to each and every one of us, that we are sweet to the divine. We are all children of the divine. No much how trouble we get into, God will lift us up, release us from all sins, if we give ourselves completely, single-mindedly, wholeheartedly to His presence.